What's up, YouTube? For today's video, this is going to be a guide on how to use Gholdengo in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'll be providing some competitive movesets and some fun meme movesets for your entertainment. If there's a moveset you want to see me do, make sure you leave below in the comment section of the video. If you want to support the series, make sure you hit that like button. And if there's a moveset you think that works really well for Gholdengo, I may not have covered here or anything like that, please leave below. I always love to see people's comments and, spread some good movesets. Let's have a look at Gholdengo. So we're going to be starting off here with a Nasty Plot Special Sweeper. Now this could use a variety of different items. I'll be showing the moves that I'm using stuff. So obviously we want Nasty Plot. Got that nice base special attack there of 133. Really, really good. A respectable speed stat. Nothing amazing, but still pretty fast. And with the +2 and special attack, it's really going to be hitting hard there. I've given it timid because it's already got high enough special attack, and you really need to invest everything into speed because it's kind of slow if you don't do that, so make sure you go timid nature. Now, its ability, Good as Gold, is so good. Pardon the pun there. It's immune to the status moves, so stuff like Thunder Wave, things like that. So that makes it great, because commonly sweepers can get shut down by those moves. Now, the other moves, I've given it, obviously, Shadow Ball. That's its best Ghost-type special move. I've given it Make It Rain here. Make It Rain is a really nice move. It does drop your special attack by 1 stage after using it, but it's got such a tremendous base power that most of the time, if you do have a nasty plot, you could use it twice and then you won't even have any boost drops there. So that's another thing you could definitely look at. It does have Flash Cannon too. That's another option you could actually give it, but the difference in base power is very, very high. So you'll be finding that you won't be getting those normal one-hit KOs. Maybe those neutral hits you were going for are not KOing anymore. So I'd be looking at using Make It Rain for sure. I've given it the Terra Water for this one. It's a little bit of fun. You could actually go, I actually quite like doing Terra Normal on it too. And I don't always do it just to turn it into Terra Blast. I do it because normal is like very, very good on giving this a... You've got Steel and Ghost, right? Not much can truly hit that, really. You've got like Ground, Fire, Ghost type, and commonly a Ghost type will come in. If you go into normal, then, well, you got that normal type too, so you got very powerful sort of type combination there, and you can sort of do some mind tricks with the opponent. If you're going to go normal Terra type, I definitely, wouldn't go Terra Blast normal. I'd swap it up for another move. Dazzling Gleam is quite good there because that allows you to hit Dark type Pokemon, which are a counter on top of that too. So that's a nice little moveset there you could do. As for item, I've given an Air Balloon. I think it's a good option there. You've got that weakness to the ground, so that alleviates that for 1 turn, and you've got any stuff floating around on the field too. And also, I was thinking you could give it another good item would be Life Orb too. So Life Orb would be very good on this. Depending on what sort of moveset you're running. So Nasty Plot works well. You could give it stuff like Expert Belt. That could be alright too. I think Life Orb is a pretty good all-round item to run on this Pokemon, or Air Balloon. So any of those are going to be working, very, very nicely for you and giving you like a really, really powerful hit against the opponent there. So this Pokemon's got some respectable defense and special defense too, and a reasonable health stat, which is nice. So it's not just going to go, I wouldn't say it's a super glass cannon. It does have a little bit of bulk to it. I'm not saying it's humongous, but it does have a good amount of bulk to it. Looking at some other options here on the special side, it does actually get the move Trick, which is quite cool. So I thought, well, how about we use a Trick and Choice Scarf combination here, and also give it its other moves that it normally would make really, really good use out of. So with Timid Nature, this thing does hit very nice speed category there. Now, if you really don't want to waste much in its speed, you want to give it more in special attack because you've got that choice item, you can do that too. Those options, both of them would work. This just guarantees you, mostly going to outspeed everything, bar, really speedy Pokemon, other choice scarf users or priority moves. And you've got the option of shutting down a support Pokemon. Say you've got a really annoying stalling Pokemon that would absolutely, loathe getting a choice scarf enough trick to it. Let's say, for example, there was like I don't know, like a Chansey or something, just being a general pain in the backside, stalling you out. Well, trick it a Choice Scarf and completely shut it down. Then that also frees up your other moveset too, so you can use like, you know, Shadow Ball and Make It Rain and stuff like that. I gave this Focus Blast. I just think it's kind of a nice thing to hit like Steel type Pokemon with too, as an option. And I've given this Terra Normal. Once again, I love Terra Normal on Gholdengo. I think it's really, really low-key fire, you know, having that. And yeah, that's another option you could do there. Just thinking of any other counters. You've got other moves like Thunderbolt too. That's more for like coverage, in my opinion, like you know, water type Pokemon. You give it a little bit of coverage, like maybe bulky water Pokemon and things like that. It's not going to do too much for you. You have Psychic as well, which is another one. But once again, you don't really have to worry about Psychic too much because you're Ghost typing. That is another option there, but they're more like filler options. You could give it Dazzling Gleam too, because Dazzling Gleam is good for Dark types. So I could definitely see that working. But yeah, you could do the same thing here. I was thinking with Choice Specs. Obviously, if you're running a Choice Spec set, you'd absolutely have to run Timid. That's going to be hitting really, really hard. And you can almost keep the same moveset to be fair, because you can still you know, trick the Choice Scarf. It's still a locking in item there. So that moveset could work that way too. And man, not very many things are going to be wanting to swap into a Gholdengo like Make It Rain. Now, another item choice I thought you could run on it. It's a little tiny bit more gimmicky. It is White Herb, so say you do get, let's presume we're running a Nasty Plot set here to begin with. Let's say we've got a Nasty Plot. Oh, I'll use Make It Rain, and that'll get rid of the drop, you know. So that'll give you one extra turn of using it. So that could actually change the battle because, you know, say you get a Nasty Plot. Okay, I've got the Nasty Plot. I've used it twice. I've taken 2 Pokemon out. If you've got that White Herb, that's going to allow you to get a third one off there without having to worry about any drops after one Nasty Plot. So that's not bad, you know. You could make use of White Herb there too. A little bit more gimmicky because obviously it's only going to be like once you could do it, but that could, you know, maybe change the course of the battle there, and then, you know, after you've done that, you could swap out. Or initially, maybe you can't get a Nasty Plot against the opponent, but you feel like, I want to go for Make It Rain, and then you've used Make It Rain, and then, you know, that got rid of your drop. You still don't have to swap out there. You still got the option of then going for Nasty Plot or using another move without a -1 in special attack. So that could definitely work well too. Let's have a look at this here. So I noticed it got quite a bit of bulkier. With this sort of moveset. So it gets Recover, and it actually gets Hex as well. So I thought, you know, it does get Thunder Wave. So we could try and go for this real, like, tanky style set, because it does have Good as Gold, which is handy, and you could give it Leftovers and Recover. So obviously you've got the combination of the Thunder Wave and Hex for double base power. I've invested this one here in health instead. Reasonable health stat for sure. And I've invested in defense, so with Calm Nature. So it's, you know, quite bulky on the defensive side. You've got Leftovers. You give them a Thunder Wave and a Hex combination. You can also heal yourself up with Recover. And you've got Flash Cannon as well. Flash Cannon is not going to be hitting super hard because you don't have, you know, a huge investment in special attack. Well, actually, you've got none. But you do have a 10% chance to drop the special defense too. So I could definitely see a set like this working. Maybe not like a you know, a sweeping one, but definitely a bulky set. You could definitely run that with Gholdengo for a bit of surprise as well. I could say they're definitely working. So that's kind of an interesting set there. A little bit more off the meta. Let's have a look at this one. I thought this is pretty cool too. This is like my screening set. So say you wanted to get a Light Screen and Reflect Up. Well, you could with this Pokemon. It's got, you know, the thing about Gholdengo is its typing. Steel and Ghost is very, very good typing. You know, it's quality typing. It's up there, in my opinion, with the top 5 typing. So we've got Light Clay, obviously, there. We're going to extend out them Reflect and Light Screens for the maximum in turns of 8. Now, say if you want to do a bit of damage, you've got Make It Rain, but then you're sort of like, oh, I'm feeling a bit dead weight now. The opponent's going to come in and set up on me or something like that. Simply just go for Memento, get yourself right off the field there, and you set your screens up nice and fast. Or just set your screens up and Memento out and swap into another Pokemon. It's kind of nice and unique, a Pokemon having Reflect, Light Screen, and Memento, you know. And a sizable special attack too. Even with no investment, you could maybe take that lead Pokemon out, you know, and then go Memento on the next Pokemon. I think this set has a fair bit of potential, a fair bit of surprise and a fair bit of potential there to use too. So yeah, definitely give that one a go if you are after a screening Pokemon. Let's have a look at a meme set now. So we've got a couple of meme sets here. Now its attack stat is absolutely horrible. So it's got 60 base and attack. So here I gave it Adamant nature, and yeah, it's horrendous. So I've given it max speed, max attack, adamant nature. I've given it choice band, so you've got option for Iron Head, Flint spam. The problem if you do run adamant, it's not going to be that fast. So you may have to go for like, I don't know, Jolly, so you can get those flinch chances. I've got Thunder Punch too, so you can have a Thunder Punch paralysis, Iron Head flinching combination. That could work. You've got Low Kick for Steel types, and you've got Trick there to give a choice band to a unsuspecting opponent and free your moveset up to there. So that is an option you could use as well, but terrible attack stat there. You'd only be doing this as a meme, of course. Now, before I look at this last set here, I'm thinking, okay, how do you go about countering this Pokemon, right? So I'm having a look at it as for weaknesses, right? So obviously it's weak to Fire-type Pokemon. We'll go back to the more special attacking competitive set here. So this can't do too much for a Fire-type Pokemon. It can hit them pretty hard with Shadow Ball. I'd say its main weakness is its speed. It's not that fast, right? It is easy to come in and just take this Pokemon out of the picture, It's got reasonable health, but apart from that, it is kind of fragile. So you could easily come back with a speedy ground type move, a fire type move, a ghost type move, and revenge it. The Pokemon, imagine if this had like 133 base speed, that would be like even more overpowered, But yeah, you got to take advantage of its speed stat there, and that's how I would personally get around this Pokemon, because it's going to be hitting very hard. You could have like a real, let's say for example here, and this is just sort of like a loose sort of counter here. Special defensive walls, I could definitely counter this because, like any special attacking Pokemon, a special defensive wall like Chansey could, probably shut that down. The only thing is, it can't really do too much. It's not like it can use Thunder Wave or use something against it. It might have to use like fixed damage move, but you could definitely swap it in and check and stuff like that. That would be how to go about doing that. Or you might have another Pokemon, for example, that has like Haze that could come in there, tank the hits, and do pretty well there. I'm thinking about Toxapex here, that could resist Make It Rain. Shadow Ball would still hit pretty hard, and you have to worry about Thunderbolt too. But yeah, any bulky hazing Pokemon will work nicely shutting that one down too. But some team options here. I was thinking any Fire-type Pokemon would work like really well against this. Scarlet is a great one there. Steel and Ghost, it covers both of them. You've got Flash Fire, and it's Fire-type too, so that would work very nicely with Gholdengo. And yeah, if you could just cover its type weaknesses, it's a very good Pokemon. And I have to stress here, with the Terra-type normal, it's a great Terra to go into. Even if you don't have a normal type move, it's such good surprise, and it works very well. I've got countless battles I've had with it that you use Terra normal and they use a ghost type, it does nothing, and you hit them back and get rid of them with Shadow Ball, Excellent sort of stuff there. Let's have a look at this one. This is definitely a meme set, but it can be pretty powerful. This is probably my favorite moveset out of all of them. Let's have a look. So we've got a Metal Coat Gholdengo. That'd be crazy. Oh, it sort of does look like a little bit of a doll. Actually, it reminds me of like those little cheese sticks, You get them in the refrigerator section, you peel the head back. So we've got Metal Coat there giving it a 1.2 times in power. We've got Steel Beam as well, so crazy special attacking damage here. Like, it's got 140 base power. So if you look at Make It Rain, it's got even more than that. Obviously, the big drawback is you've got to lose 50% of your health. So that's where Recover comes in. And that's where Thunder Wave and Confuse Ray comes in. So how I'd run this set is you swap it in, right? You want max speed because you want to be going first, and you've got max special attack. So you've paralyzed the opponent, then you parafusion them, right? Now, Then you've obviously got to recover off, so you can use Steel Beam, and then it can just go from there, trying to get as much damage with Steel Beam as possible. So a little bit of a fun set. I could definitely see this working, though. Like, you really are going to hit hard with Steel Beam and that metal coat there to add onto that too. So that's going to be pretty fun to use. The bad thing about it is if you get really unlucky, say if you got the Parafusion on the opponent and then suddenly they start getting through it, which definitely can happen, and you don't have a lot of health left, you might faint yourself with Steel Beam. In fact, there's a very good chance you're probably going to faint yourself with a Steel Beam here, unless you get lucky. I was thinking another way you could maybe get around this would be like Substitute, but then you give up Confuse Ray, so that's like an extra chance for the opponent to do virtually nothing. So that's a that's a bit of an interesting set there. You know what? Let's have a look at a couple more sets here. I'm trying to give you all my ideas. I don't want to rush through this Pokemon. So I was also thinking about this. Like, I want to try and make these guides around like the 20-minute mark, because that way I get to fully explain all the Pokemon and all my movesets and stuff too. And I don't have to rush either. But yeah, I was going to try and make them around that length. So there's a lot of, good digestible sort of movesets to have a look at. So just looking at its moveset here, it does get, you could go like Nightshade as well if you want to go for another, I don't know, I was thinking on like this set here, if you wanted something like that. That's going to do fixed damage. I know that it's not going to do too much, but it is going to do fixed damage, and you can, if you think you're going to get set up on, then you go Memento, or you could even do that. So they could just work on a bulky set, so some fixed damage there. But of course, it's going to be weaker. It's going to be weaker than at least the first. Maybe after you Make It Rain twice, it's going to be better then, but probably keep Make It Rain. But it's interesting it's got that move there. Let's have a quick little look at physical moves again. So it really gets hardly anything. I mean, you got Heavy Slam, but this Pokemon is, I don't think this Pokemon is very heavy. It's like a literal cheese stick on a surfboard, so it's really not going to be very heavy at all, and it doesn't really have any other amazing moves here either on the physical side, which is a bit of a shame, but that's how it is. It's sort of like the special of Melmetal, but lacks Melmetal's bulk, but has a little bit more speed. So another sort of sets here we got Power Gem. Now Power Gem's not a bad move here. I want to go back to my original set here. This is a move that I would run in there too. Power Gem allows you to hit Fire-type Pokemon, which definitely can come into Gholdengo. Would you change the Terra around? Probably you could. You could go like Terra Rock. That could definitely work. That could be kind of nice to definitely net that KO on that Fire-type Pokemon that's coming. Even a Flying-type Pokemon too, but, you're not really going to be worrying about Flying types. You're going to be worried about Fire types. So Power Gem is a definite another good option for that. Just going through some of the other moves here. Now, this is another thing too. You also got Psyshock. So this does give it a little bit of a mix sort of style in damage. It's not going to be doing enormous amounts of damage unless you were to go, I'll do like Terra Psychic or something like that. But that's another sort of little option there if you want to open it up. Maybe a really bulky special defense wall comes in. I'll just, Nasty Plot, then I'll use Psyshock. That'll do a lot more damage than to the, the generic sort of special move. But, it sort of depends on the Pokemon, but it's interesting that it does get that. I'm just going through some more of its moves here. Now, I did notice that it got Metal Sound here, so I was like, you could do something cool like this. This is obviously this is a little bit more gimmick, but man, you could get, it's probably almost no point in using it if you've got Nasty Plot, but you've got Metal Sound as a sound-based move, so the first initial hit will do more than a Nasty Plot. So you go Metal Sound, you've dropped their special defense by 2, you've got a Throat Spray. That hit's going to do a lot, that's going to do heaps and heaps of damage. But it is outclassed after the first, sort of encounter there. Nasty Plot would do better. But something interesting to think about. Maybe if you had a sound-based move. Does it get any sound-based move? No, it doesn't get any sound-based moves here. So that's a bit of a shame. Ooh, I've got a good idea. So this is another... It could even do this too. This is kind of interesting. For a bit of a fun move set. Let's take away all this. And we could go... Yes, give it Air Balloon. We'll give it Air Balloon. Because that's already a good item. So we've got this Thunder Wave Electro Ball set. So if you went into a Terra... Let's say Terra Electric. Pure Electric. And you got like a Electro Ball and Air Balloon. That'll do a fair bit. Oh, Thunder Punch. I meant to have Thunder Wave there. You're probably thinking what? So when Thunder Wave and Electro Ball strategy, that could work a lot with its big special attack. You could even, really put on Nasty Plot if you want some more damage there. But I think that's going to be doing a lot there with Electro Ball. So that's kind of another interesting style of moveset you could actually run there. Just having a look at some of the other options it's got. Maybe you could get some coverage on this. Say if a ground type comes in. Oh, what are we going to do? So we could go like... Can't really use Terra Blast there. Ground's a little bit of a problem. I mean, you could just give it another coverage move like Make It Rain as well if you wanted to do that too. So like you could go Make It Rain, Electro Ball, Thunder Wave. I was just trying to think of some other moves that could work. I mean, you've also got Hex too. Hex will work beautifully on that set. So you've got that double base power. So you've got Electro Ball and Hex, and you've got Make It Rain. So that's not a bad set. Like, I'm not saying it's absolutely incredibly competitive, but it's a good little bit of surprise there. Electro Ball, we're doing like lots and lots of damage. So maybe you could couple it with a status spreading Pokemon. Let's have a look at Thunder Wave. Like a status spreading Pokemon. Where are we at here? Probably none of them. Maybe like... I'm pretty sure that we've got... Yeah, like you could do... I'm just thinking of like... This is not a bad partner. So we've got like an Everlight Murkrow. Oh, okay, so with this type combination, we've got, this is weak to ground. We can swap that in. It's also weak to dark. Well, you can swap Murkrow in too, which is really, really good. And it's weak to fire. Well, it doesn't resist fire, but that's not a bad matchup there as well. So you've got like little, oh, it doesn't get Roost. Okay, that's a bit of a shame. But yeah, you could go like bulky one and do some pranks to Thunder Waves and stuff like that. That could be kind of interesting there. But as another little, little bit of a partner there for the Gholdengo. But yeah, that's pretty much everything for Gholdengo. I've done some competitive movesets. I've done some fun movesets. I've done some other suggestions as well. I've suggested some teammates and some counters. And yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up Gholdengo. If you've got any other things to add to this or movesets, please leave below in the comment section. On Thursday, I'll be dropping 3 moveset guides for some other Pokemon. I've sort of been waiting to do that. So that should be, that should be coming to you real soon. All right, people. I'll catch you next time. Peace out.